This is my real cheese. This is my real cheese in the molds. And here, this is my real lever arm cheese press. When I started to make cheese, I had no idea when the recipe called for 20 pounds or 50 pounds what that looked like. And many individuals would say, oh, just add enough pressure till you see some whey draining. But by the time you get to the higher pressures, after you've pressed it for several hours, there is no more whey draining, because at the higher pressures, it's actually not about draining whey, it's about curds knitting together. So how would you know what 50 pounds look like? So I created this little app, Cheese Press Calculator. So let's look at the cheese press calculator, how you use it. First, you have the option to choose between the lever press and the spring press. Let's take a look at the two, and we'll go into more detail in a moment. Here's the lever arm press, and if I wanted to look at the spring press, we could just select spring press. Let's go back to the lever press. For the lever press, I want to draw your attention to two lengths that your press will no doubt have as well. L1, that's the short length, and L2, the longer length, and of course the weight of the jug. Now, let's take a look at how you want to weigh it, imperial or metric. You may select either here. There are two modes that you can do this measurement under. Enter the press parameter. So the applied weight here is the weight of your jug. I'm just going to say it is 5 pounds. The distance from pivot to cheese, that was that L1 distance. I happen to know for mine it is 3 inches. It varies maybe between 3 to 3.25, but I just go with 3. Distance from the pivot, so that is from the downward pressure to where the jug is. You just need to measure it once. I write it on that long arm. Let's say I was hanging my 5 pounds at, let's call it 18 inches. If I hang my 5 pounds at 18 inches, it's calculated that that is going to weigh approximately 30 pounds. What happens if I hang that same 5 pounds at further out? Let's say my lever arm press, which has a length of 22, I put it at 22 inches. Now you can see it's a roughly 36.7 pounds. All right, let's do it in reverse. What if I want to do it based on my target pressure? I reset my calculator, switch to target pressure mode. I'm staying in imperial. The distance again from that L1 for me remains 3. That is unchanging. The target pressure mode. So let's say I want 45 pounds. I want 45 pounds pressure. Look at there. The calculator has calculated 3 options for recommended settings. You can hang a 6.3 jug at 21.5 inches, a 9-pound jug at 15 inches, or a 13.5 pound jug, or whatever, you might have a dry weight at 15 inches. And you can see how amazingly simple using this calculator is. Now, I do on occasion for my larger cheeses use a spring press. So here's the spring press. Let me remind you what it looks like. In cheese 1, we see the springs. They're how compressed they are when there's no weight on it at all and they're not dug down. In image 2, I have put a hand weight that's about 5 pounds on top of that spring, and I measured the distance. How much does 5 pounds make it compress? And then in the final one, I'm showing I have dug down the springs to apply a pressure. I'm going to stay with imperial. I'm going to enter my known weight. I'm going to enter my 5 pound weight. When I added my 5 pounds, it changed the distance by 0.2. The current compression with the cheese. Okay, so now I've dug down the spring. I've taken off that weight. I've dug down the springs. How much has that changed? Well, now I have compressed it using the wing nuts 2 inches. Well, look at that. It has automatically calculated that I have now applied 50 pounds of pressure. All right, let's say I didn't dog it down 2 inches. I dogged it down 1 inch. I have applied 25 pounds of pressure. Now, this is with the spring press. Now, what if I, just like the other one, I want to switch to target pressure mode? Here we are at target pressure mode. I still know that my known weight is 5 pounds and it still compresses at 0.2, right? But I want to tell it what pressure I want. I want 30 pounds. Okay, so if I want 30 pounds of pressure, I have to dog down those springs by about 1.2 inches. There you have it. So you can use both the lever arm press and the spring press in 2 different ways, with knowns or with targets. I hope this makes sense. Let me know what you think.